personalities, invited guests, lawyers, professors, all other dignitaries, faculty members, coordinators, paper presenters, and attendees present here today for the validatory session of our 9th virtual international seminar on human rights and gender justice, organized by Kerala Law Academy Law College in association with the Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research, CALSA. Kerala Law Academy Law College was established in 1966 by late Dr. N. Narayana Nair sir, the legal lumai. But is a seat of excellence in legal education, consultancy, research, and in pioneering law reforms. Kerala Law Academy Law College is always in its constant effort for pioneering novel ideas. Before moving into the formal function, I am profusely elated to say that our inaugural session was blessed with the presence of and words of personalities par excellence. We were extremely happy to provide a platform to all the interested researchers to express their ideas and concerns regarding human rights and gender justice. Before moving into the formal function, I'm profusely elated to say that our inaugural session was blessed with the presence of words and of personalities par excellence. We were extremely happy to provide a platform to all the interested researchers to express their ideas and concerns regarding human rights and gender justice. We received around 90 research papers across India, showcasing the rampant reach and influence that events conducted at Kerala Law Academy Law College are creating among the people. The contributors covered various approaches to this matter, from researchers varying from research scholars, assistant professors, PG and UG students from reputed law colleges across the country. Honorable chairs were kind enough to spend their valuable time listening and giving their feedback to the researchers. Now, we have a BTS video of this 9th international seminar. I hope all of you enjoyed. Thank you. The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains. The superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires. As students of Kerala Law Academy, this saying is true in every aspect for us. Now, I would like to invite our faculty, Advocate Ranjini Ponnanshila Madam, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, who is one of the most dynamic faculties of our institution, to welcome our guests into the session. Ma'am, please.
A very warm welcome to all eminent dignitaries on and off the dais. Respected Professor Anil G. Varyat, Registrar, Maharashtra Law University, Mumbai, Ms. Mariana Pinto de Carvalho Mantos, Lawyer, Federal University of Bahia, Brazil, Ms. Malu Stanchi, Political Articulator of Human Rights, Advocate Binu PM, Assistant Professor of Kerala Law Academy Law College, Alan M. George, Student Moderator for today. Today, we have gathered on this virtual platform for the validatory function of our 9th International Conference, Human Rights and Gender Justice, organized by Kerala Law Academy in association with the Center for Advanced Legal Studies. Kerala Law Academy, a seat of excellence, has a rich traditional history spanning over 5 decades. Kerala Law Academy provides the perfect balance between sound legal thinking and real-world experience to seamlessly transforming law students to legal professionals. Gender justice is an inalienable and inevitable human right. Gender equality will be realized when people have equal rights, responsibility, and opportunities, irrespective of their gender. Man, women, children, trans and gender diverse people and families of society will get affected by the gender inequality. All of us have a vital role to play in promoting gender justice. We have received more than 90 papers, 14 technical sessions with around 20 faculties from different national law schools and reputed law colleges, including international speakers, exceptional academic presentation on a broad range of critical topics, created an exclusive intellectual environment. The aim of this conference is to increase socioeconomic political awareness to the society. We believe that this endeavor will help us to stay more closer to the society and to fulfill our objective of contributing towards nation building. A great honor has been bestowed upon me to welcome our legal luminaries who grace this validatory function of our 9th International Conference, Human Rights and Gender Justice. We feel honored and privileged to have Professor Dr. Anil Jivaryat, Registrar of Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai, who kindly agreed to grace the occasion. Professor Anil Jivaryat completed his doctorate from Bundelkhand University, Jhansi. Professor Anil is an expertise in constitutional law, international human rights law, banking law, and has a distinguished record of achievement as a researcher, teacher, and administrator. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy Law College, teaching and non-teaching staff, students, and delegates, and on my behalf, I extend our heartily welcome, sir.
Thank you.
With immense pleasure and privilege, I hereby welcome Ms. Marina Munispinto de Carvalho Mantos. Ms. Marina graduated from Federal University of Bahia, Brazil. She is a renowned Brazilian human rights lawyer and is currently the president of Federal University of Bahia, Human Rights Clinic, Brazil. She has got commendable records to her credit as international human rights lawyer for the promotion of socioeconomic justice in the international community. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy, teachers, non-teaching staffs, delegates, and students, and on my own behalf, I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
It's my honor to welcome Ms. Malu Stanchi, highly acclaimed lawyer, political articulator of human rights, who represented as counsel in wide range of matters involving complex question of human rights law. Ms. Stanchi, being an active human rights articulator, disseminate knowledge to improve public policy, closely work with the government of Brazil. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy Law College, teaching and non-teaching staffs, delegates, and on my own behalf, I extend my warm welcome, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
With immense pleasure, I cordially welcome Advocate Minu PM, Assistant Professor of Kerala Law Academy, the faculty convener of this conference. He's an excellent academician, orator, and a great teacher for our students. On our behalf of Kerala Law Academy family, I extend our heartily welcome, sir. I welcome our student moderator, Alan M., for moderating this function today. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy, I extend my warm welcome, Alan.
Thank you, ma'am.
Being an alumni of this institution with great pride, I welcome my own teacher, the heart of the institution, Advocate Nagaraj Narayan, sir, our director, Chairman of Kerala Law Academy Moot Court Society, Member of Bar Council of Kerala, Special Government Pleader, High Court of Kerala, Adjunct of Nuals. He's an eminent lawyer, a genuine down-to-earth person, a great environmentalist who always stand with us with great vision and to guide and privilege and to guide us forward with his expertise. With pride and privilege, on behalf of the entire Law Academy family, I extend my warm welcome, sir. Now it's high time to welcome our beloved principal, Professor Harinton, sir, for your guidance and support for organizing this event. Professor Harinton, sir, is a great academician with expertise in human rights law, constitutional law, international law. Is an eminent personality, great teacher, and a compassionate human being. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy family, I extend a special warm welcome, sir. I would like to extend my hearty welcome to Professor Anil Kumar K, sir, for the support he has extended on us for turning our dreams into reality. Professor Anil Kumar sir is an eminent scholar, great administrator, a compassionate person. Without his trust and guidance, this was not possible. On behalf of the entire Kerala Law Academy family, I extend you a warm welcome, sir. With immense pleasure, I welcome Dr. Dakshina Saraswati, Secretary of Kerala Law Academy Moot Court Society, Assistant Professor, Faculty Convener of this conference, for all your guidance and support for organizing this event. Ma'am have worked enthusiastically for the success of this event. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy and on my own behalf, I welcome you, ma'am. I extend my warm welcome to all faculty conveners, Professor Ajita Nayaral, Advocate Ledika Kumari, and all other faculties and student conveners and students who work tirelessly for this conference. Let me conclude by cordially welcoming all our vibrant, enthusiastic delegates, members, students, parents to this function on behalf of Kerala Law Academy family. Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you, ma'am, for such a warm welcome. I take this opportunity to welcome you into the session, ma'am. Now, with immense respect, privilege, and gratitude, I would like to invite our honorable chief guest, Dr. Anil G. Warriath, Registrar and Director, CRCJ, Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai. A legal professional with over 31 years of experience in law, including litigation pertaining to civil, criminal, banking sector, as well as academic field, with teaching and research experience. His expertise include curriculum framing, setting up for the law training professors and researchers. Sir has a teaching and research experience of more than 22 years. It is a matter of immense privilege to welcome Sir to address the validatory sessions. Sir, please.
Thank you, Mr. Allen.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. And guests of the evening, Miss Mariana Matos, Malu Stanchi, respected Director of the Law Academy, Advocate Nagaraj, Principal Professor Harindran, all the faculty members, students, and all those who have joined this online platform today. Today, I being in this function is quite accidental. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dilip Uke, was to be here, but unfortunately, because of an unfortunate incident in his house, he could not make it. So I am here on his behalf, and I greet you all on behalf of the Maharashtra National Law University and its Vice Chancellor. Though I was not a student of Law Academy, Kerala Law Academy is an institution very close to my heart. I recall the year 1995, I had been to Law Academy when there was a moot court competition. That time, Honorable Dr. Narayan Nair sir was there. That time I was not a faculty, I was a practicing lawyer. Then he asked me, come and sit as a judge for one of the preliminary rounds. That was the type of affection he showed at that time. And I recall that today when I was asked to fill the place of Professor Uke by Dr. Dakshina Saraswati. So anyhow, today's I'm so happy that this Kerala Law Academy has organized an international conference on a very relevant theme of general justice, which is a concern of the entire world. As far as India is concerned, gender justice is not a subject alien to us. Rather, it is a subject which has deep rooted in our culture and tradition. You may recall our scriptures saying that the gods dwell where ladies are adorned. No doubt it was in the scriptures, but in reality, the position and plight of the women are far, far away from this. But when we realize freedom and the constitution was framed, the principles of gender equality and general justice had been enshrined in the constitution, right from its preamble to fundamental rights, fundamental duties and directive principles. And we have a constitution which guarantees equality to women, not only equality to women, but also contains provisions to empower them and mandates on the state to adopt measures of positive discrimination in favor of women for neutralizing the cumulative socio-economic, education, political disadvantages faced by the weaker sex over the years and centuries together. Fundamental rights, among others, ensure equality before law and equal protection of laws, prohibits discrimination against any citizen based on, among other things, based on sex. It guarantees equal opportunity to all its citizens in the matters of employment. You will find these commitments, this political commitment of the Constitution in Articles 15, 14, 16, 39, 42, and many other provisions. Apart from to uphold the constitutional mandate, the state has enacted various legislative measures intended to ensure equal rights and counter social discrimination and various forms of violence and atrocities, and to provide support service, especially to the working woman. Although women may be victims of crimes, many types of crimes, which are directed specifically against women, and those type of crimes we have chapterized, characterized, and chaptered as crime against women under the Penal Code itself. And there are many other laws apart from the Indian Penal Code. See, you may just recall the sections, 509, 354, 498, 376, 363 to 373 of the Indian Penal Code. Apart from that, there are a lot of special laws under which specific crimes have been identified as crime against women through various amendments which have been carried on from time to time to protect and safeguard the interest of women at large. I'm just telling this for the kind information of our guest also, that the government of India had taken a lot of initiative for empowering the women and safeguarding their interests, like the formation of National Women's Commission, which was set up in the year 1992. And by a constitutional amendment act passed in the same year, 1992, the Parliament has ensured 1/3 of the seat reservation in the local self-governments. No other constitution in the world has such a provision. We are a nation which has come up with national plan of action for the girl child, which was extending to a decade from 1991 to 2000. And in 2001, the government has come up with a national policy for empowerment of women. It is not the end of the story. Many things have to be achieved. Of late, the recent debates in the public focusing on the rights of women. One of such is the Sabarimala case. Though I don't want to go into the merits of the case, whether the long-standing custom will prevail or the constitutional rights will prevail, it's a matter to be decided by the judiciary. But still, what I would like to say is that it has opened up a new debate with respect to women empowerment and women's rights. Because religion is something which had been subjecting women to a lot of disabilities. No religion is an exception. Recently, I was so thrilled to hear that the state of Tamil Nadu has established the practice of appointing women as priests in the temples. But again, you may see many religions are yet to confer the right of priesthood to the women. They are kept out of the clergy. And again, we have seen the working women in different corporate and other sectors. They are subjected to a number of problems, number of exploitations, for which irrelevant provisions have been made in different acts. And the landmark judgment in Neera Mathur versus Life Insurance Corporation of India, that itself will give an idea how the judiciary in India has taken seriously the rights of women. Similarly, we have a history of brave women in our society. Ahilya Bhai Holkar, Rani Lakshmi Bhai of Jhansi, Sarojini Naidu, so many women were in the forefront of our struggle. The Constituent Assembly had sizable representation of the women. But when it came to the Armed Forces Permanent Commission, it is again a matter of concern that the women had to go to the Supreme Court and get a judgment in their favor. Secretary of Ministry of Defense versus Babita Punia. So there are mixed cases of putting women into advantage and disadvantage together. So I do not take much time. I would like to conclude that what is to be changed? It is not the law or the policy alone. The change should come from within the society. The approach to these problems have to be changed. It has to be relooked. The societal attitude to women and their rights has to be changed. Side by side, we have to recognize the third gender also. It has also been recognized now. When you speak about gender justice, it will not be complete unless you address the problems of the third gender also. So what I want to say is that to bring in that systemic change in the societal attitude, the initiatives like this conference, this international conference which the Kerala Law Academy has organized, will go a big way ahead. And with these words, I take this opportunity to congratulate the faculty, the management, the students, and the staff of Kerala Law Academy for organizing such a wonderful program with a theme of relevance. And also thank the institution for inviting me and providing me a platform. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, sir, for your words of wisdom. We are very honored and privileged to have you on board with us.
Thank you.
Today, we are also blessed with the presence of an eminent personality from the galaxy of intellectuals. None other than Ms. Mariana Pena, lawyer, Federal University of Bahia, President of Federal University of Bahia's Human Rights Clinic, Brazil. Ma'am, I welcome you to address the session.
Thank you very much. So good evening and good morning for those who are in Brazil. As kindly said, my name is Mariana Muniz, and I am currently the president of Federal University of Bahia's Human Rights Clinic. I'm going to share my presentation with Ms. Stanki, as we're going to address the same topic and we're going to use the same material. So if you can start.
Good evening. I would like to thank the Corella Law Academy for the invitation. First of all, it's an honor to be here. My name is Malu Stanque. I'm also a Brazilian lawyer, specialist in public policies and gender justice by the Consejo Latinoamericano de Ciencias Sociales. And currently, I'm a political articulator for the Human Rights Observatory, Crisis and COVID, and a researcher for the Institute for Applied Economic Research in the project on criminal processing of torture in Brazil.
So we would like to say it is a pleasure to be present at this international seminar on human rights and gender justice, sharing this session with amazing guests. And we would like to humbly thank the invitation. We would like to thank the organizing team. We would like to thank Corella Law Academy and Law College. And it is a pleasure to strengthen the ties between our countries and to be able to share our perspectives concerning gender justice in Brazil.
Yeah, today we are going to share with you some aspects concerning gender justice in Brazil specifically. And please feel free to ask any questions you'd like. So to address this issue, Ms. Muniz and I decided to focus on the case Márcia Barbosa de Souza versus Brazil, whose sentence by the Inter-American Court of Human Rights came out just 2 weeks ago. And this case is about gender justice and feminicide. Feminicide, which is the murder of women for the reasons of their gender. Yeah.
So now I'm going to share my screen with you. As Ms. Stanque said, we are going to focus on the case Márcia Barbosa de Souza versus Brazil. And for a start, we are going to talk about the context of violence against women and gender justice in Brazil. Violence against women was, at the time of the facts of the case, and still is, a structural problem in Brazil. So we have the absence of national statistics, especially before the 2000s, and this makes it difficult for the public power to formulate and to implement effective public policies concerning gender violence. Furthermore, in Brazil, there is a culture of tolerance against tolerance to violence against women, which is illustrated, for example, by the way in which the media presents the news of violence against women by romanticizing it rather than rejecting it. In this regard, high levels of tolerance for violence against women are usually associated with high rates of gender-based murders. In Brazil, the first national survey on violence against women that we had was carried out in 1988 by the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics. And this survey pointed out that concerning the victims of domestic violence in 1988, 63% of them were women, and in 70% of those cases, the perpetrator of the violence was the husband or the boyfriend. In the same sense, a study carried out in 2004 found out that every 15 seconds, a woman was severely assaulted by a man in Brazil. And also in 2015, the Brazilian Senate survey stated that 1 in 5 women had suffered some kind of domestic violence in Brazil. In 2006, the law that we call the law Mariana Pena was enacted. This law concerns the combat of domestic violence and family violence against women. This is Mariana Pena, and she is a survivor of domestic violence. She suffered 2 murder attempts by her husband. She was shot and paralyzed. And she started participating in social movements against violence and impunity, and she took her case to the Inter-American System of Human Rights. So after the this case went to the Inter-American System of Human Rights. The Inter-American Commission of Human Rights demanded that Brazil created a law concerning domestic violence. So that data from the years 2006 to 2013 indicated that although the homicide rate of women decreased right at the beginning of the referred law, it rose again later. And even with the enactment of the femicide law, which included in the Brazilian Penal Code femicide as a qualified form of homicide, the Latin American Faculty of Social Sciences and the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights ranked Brazil as the country with the 5th highest rate of gender-based homicides. Those were very important laws. Those are very important laws, and they represent an advance in the guarantee of women's rights, but those measures are not enough. It is also important to note that in Brazil, violent deaths against women do not occur equally. There is a significant aspect of race. Overall, the rate of victimization of Black women in the country is 66 times higher than the rate of violence against white women. And the specific number of women murdered in greater numbers in Brazil corresponds to women who are young, Black, and poor, just like the victim of this case, Ms. Marcia Barbosa de Souza. Furthermore, Brazil is a federal state, and in the state of Paraíba, which is the state of the Brazilian Federation in which the facts of the case occurred, the rate of Black women murdered in 2018 was 4 times higher than the murder rate of white women.
Yeah, Marcia Barbosa was a 20 years old Afro-descendant student. She was killed in 1998 by the then state deputy of Paraíba, Aécio Pereira de Lima. She was beaten and strangulated. And the police investigation was a controversial point in this case, in considering that it was tainted by gender stereotypes and sexism. During the course of the investigations, for an example, the police authority asked several witnesses about the personality, social conduct, and sexuality of Ms. Barbosa de Souza. And in this context, due to the parliamentary immunity enjoyed by the offender, the criminal action was filed before the State Court of Justice with the reservation that it could only start if the Legislative Assembly allowed it, which did not happen, obviously. Thus, the criminal process formally began only in 2003 when the author of the crime ceased to be the state deputy. So Marcia was killed in 1998, and the process formally began only in 2003. This is central data. And in 2007, the first jury court sentenced Ms. Pereira de Lima to 16 years in prison for crimes of murder and concealment of Ms. Barbosa corpses. But Ms. Pereira de Lima appealed the sentence in the same year. But before this appeal was examined in 2008, he died of a heart attack unpunished. Therefore, the punishment was extinguished and the case was filed without a real solution. Initially, concerning the juridical analysis of the case, it is important to point out that the Inter-American Court carried out its legal analysis based not only on the American Convention on Human Rights, but also on the Inter-American Convention to Prevent, Punish, and Eradicate Violence Against Women, known as the Belém do Pará Convention. Now, the Belém do Pará Convention is a document of central importance in Latin America for cases involving gender violence and gender justice. As for the rights to judicial guarantees, equality, juridical protection in relation to the obligation of respecting, guaranteeing, and adoption of provisions of domestic law, the Inter-American Court stated that in accordance with the Brazilian rules in force at the time of the facts of the case occurred, a congressman was prosecuted criminally only with a prior license from the legislative chamber. Therefore, the authorization of the corresponding parliamentary body constituted a condition itself for the prosecution of any criminal action, which would be a problem. And the court noted that, as this is a case related to the violent death of a woman, which is evidently not related to the exercise of the functions of a deputy, the possibility of the political use of criminal action should have been analyzed with more attention and caution, taking into account the duty of strict due diligence in the investigation and punishment of acts of violence against women. The court recalls that when there are concrete indications of gender violence, the lack of investigation by the authorities into possible reasons of discriminatory actions may in itself constitute a form of discrimination based on gender. So judicial ineffectiveness in individual case of violence against women provides an environment of impunity that facilitates and promotes the repetition of facts of violence in general. It sends a message, basically, that the violence against women can be tolerated and accepted, which favor its perpetuation and acceptance of the phenomenon, the feeling of insecurity of women, and as well as their persistent distrust of the justice administration system. Additionally, it should be noted that the due diligence in the investigation of a woman's violent death also implies the need to investigate from a gender perspective. The duty to investigate has an additional scope when it is about a woman who suffers death, mistreatment, or violation of her personal freedom in a general context of violence against women. And one of the main problems in this is that it's often difficult to prove that a murder or a violent act of aggression against a woman was perpetrated for reasons of gender. This is difficult sometimes arise from the absence of a thorough and effective investigation authorities about the violent incident and its causes. And for this reason, the state authorities have an obligation to investigate ex officio the possible connotations of discrimination on grounds of gender in an act of violence perpetrated against a woman, especially when there are concrete signs of sexual violence of some kind or evidence of cruelty to the woman's body, for an example, the mutilation, or even when this is an act that fits within a context of violence against women that exists in a country or a region.
And also, in the juridical analysis of the case, with regard to the right to equality, in the case of Marcia Barbosa, the Inter-American Court considered that the use of gender stereotypes in the investigations of the crime violated the rights of the victim and of her family members. As Ms. Stanke said, it was common during the investigations to police officers to ask the witnesses about Ms. Barbosa's social conduct, her sexuality, if she was involved with drug abuse, something like that, if she was a prostitute. And in this case, the Inter-American Court stated that the gender stereotype refers to a preconception of attributes, behaviors, characteristics, or rules which are or should be performed by men and women. And stereotypes, it distort perceptions and give rise to decisions based on beliefs, preconceived ideas, and myths instead of facts, which in turn can give rise to the denial of justice, especially to women. In this case, the Inter-American Court verifies that there was an intention to devalue the victim throughout the investigation and the criminal process. Her behavior, her sexuality, it became a special theme of attention, causing the construction of the image of the victim as a generator or as a person who deserved what happened to her. And this diverted the focus on the investigation through stereotypes related to aspects of her personal life, which in turn were used as facts relevant to the process itself. And this is not right. That is, the repetition of testimonial evidence sought to build an image of the victim, to generate doubts about the criminal responsibility of the perpetrator of the crime. Also, during the course of the criminal proceeding against the deputy Pereira de Lima, the defense attorney asked to be included in the case files over 150 pages of newspaper articles that referred to prostitution, overdose, and alleged suicide, to link them with the victim with the intention of affecting her image. Additionally, the defender made several mentions in the course of the process about her sexual orientation, an alleged drug addiction, and described Marcia as a prostitute, and described the perpetrator of the crime as a good man who was seduced by a young woman. And in view of that, the Inter-American Court concluded that the investigation and the criminal case concerning the facts related to the murder of Marcia Barbosa had a discriminatory character on the grounds of gender and were not conducted with a perspective of gender in accordance with the special obligations imposed by the Belém do Pará Convention. Therefore, the Inter-American Court condemned Brazil for violating the rights to judicial guarantees, to equality before law, and to judicial protection contained in the Articles 8, 24, and 25 of the American Convention of Human Rights, in relation to the obligations to respect and guarantee rights without discrimination, and the duty to adopt provisions of domestic law, determining that Brazil adopted remedial measures that aims the non-repetition of the facts, measures that include the preparation and the availability of statistics of gender violence, the creation of training and awareness programs of state agents concerning gender justice, and the adoption of a standardized protocol for the investigation of violent deaths of women with basis on gender.
And just to conclude, this precedent is extremely relevant, as it is Brazil's first international conviction for gender-based homicide, which is relevant for rethinking sexism itself, the high levels of violence against women, and Brazil's lack of gender justice. We hope that this precedent and the measures determined by the Inter-American Court will be able to contribute to the advancement of women's rights and the guarantee of gender justice in Brazil. So I think it is the main presentation. Thank you very much, and it's an honor to be here.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Mariana Pena, madam, and Malu Stancy, ma'am, for that thought-provoking session. Thank you so much for your valuable words that filled us with the awe of joy of your wisdom. We are truly enlightened. Moving on, gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. Every celebration is an experience as the external fades away and the internal lingers and echoes in the most depths of our hearts. With that, I cordially invite Advocate Binu PM Sir, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy, to deliver the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Alan M. George.
Yes,
A
sir.
warm good evening to one and all. A respected Professor Dr. Anil G. Variat, Miss Marina Muniz Pinto de Cabello Matos, Miss Malu Stanchi, Advocate Sri Nagaraj Narayan, Professor Dr. Lakshmi Nair, Professor Harindran Sir, Professor K. Anil Kumar Sir, Advocate Ranjini Punan Sheila, teacher, Mr. Alan M. George, other professors, distinguished invitees, delegates, parents, and faculty conveners, my colleagues, student conveners, and my dear students. I consider it as a great privilege and pleasure to propose a vote of thanks to the dignitaries of today's international seminar on human rights and gender justice, organized by Kerala Law Academy, Law College, along with the Center for Advanced Legal Studies and Research. We have been listening to the most thought-provoking, informative, validatory address delivered by Professor Dr. Anil G. Variat, Registrar, Maharashtra National Law University, Mumbai. I sincerely appreciate the generosity and readiness to accept our invitation. Professor Dr. Anil G. Variat is a good academician and a good administrator. We are highly indebted to you, sir, for sparing your valuable time on behalf of Kerala Law Academy, teachers, students, and on behalf, I propose a heartfelt thanks to you, sir. I am indeed grateful to Miss Marina Muniz Pinto de Cabello Matos, lawyer, Federal University, Bahia, president of Federal University, Bahia's Human Rights Clinic, Brazil, for delivering the keynote address. She is very active, energetic, and eminent person with a lot of achievements. Your dedication and commitment for the protection of human rights is truly remarkable. And I believe that it has inspired everyone present here. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy, teachers, students, and on my own behalf, I propose a sincere thanks to you, ma'am. Next, I would like to express my gratitude to Miss Malu Stanchi, political articulator for human rights, observatory crisis, and COVID-19, and researcher, Institute for Applied Economic Research. Your sincerity and dedication expressed through your valuable words. Your words have inspired everyone present here. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy, teachers, students, and on my own behalf, I propose a sincere thanks to you, ma'am. Our powerful motivator, Advocate Sri Nagaraj Narayan, sir, Director of Kerala Law Academy, Adjunct Professor Nuance, a special government pleader for his High Court of Kerala, member, Bar Council of Kerala. He has always been a source of inspiration and encouragement. On behalf of the entire Kerala Law Academy family, I express my sincere thanks to you, sir. Then Professor Harindran K. Sir, our principal, is always a source of inspiration to all the activities in this college. He always extends his support and guidance to all the competitions, conferences, international seminars, and workshops organized in this Institute. On behalf of the Kerala Law Academy, teachers, students, and on my own behalf, I propose a sincere thanks to Professor Harindra Sir from the bottom of my heart. Professor K. Anil Kumar Sir, General Convener of this international seminar, he is a great motivator and catalyst to all the curricular and extracurricular activities in this college. He is always extend his support and guidance to every programs organized in this college. On behalf of the Kerala Law Academy, teachers, students, and on my own behalf, I propose a sincere thanks to you, Professor K. Anil Kumar Sir, from the bottom of my heart. Next, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to Advocate Srimati Ranjini Punnan Sheila, Assistant Professor, Kerala Law Academy. She is very active and energetic professor for her effort in making this event a grateful success. I would also like to express my gratitude to Professor Anil Kumar Ji, faculty conveners, Professor Ajita Nair, ma'am, Dr. Dakshina Saraswati, Srimati Latika Nair, for all their hard works and effort for making this event a successful event. And also I express my gratitude to student conveners, Alan M. George, Ajay, Rishikesh, Sruti Kannan, Dakshina, Arjun PM, Sri Durga, Gopika Shashi, Nanda Kishore, Abhirami, Anantu RS, Ashik Muhammad, for their valuable support behind this international program. I would also like to thank everyone who has worked behind the scene to make this event a reality, and express my special thanks to our IT team who have provided us with the technical support, which is significant due to the virtual nature of this event. Last but not the least, I extend my sincere thanks to all participants, faculty conveners, student moderators, teachers, volunteers, committee members, non-teaching members of this office, and all those who are present here to make this international conference a grand success. Once again, thank you, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for such a heartfelt vote of thanks. This seminar was indeed a platform to share ideas and thoughts by prominent speakers, expert in this field, both national and international. Gratitude makes sense of our past, brings peace for today, and creates a vision for tomorrow. On this note, let's conclude this remarkable, memorable, and knowledgeable validatory session. On behalf of our institution, we sincerely thank all the dignitaries for joining us, supporting us, and enlightening us with enthusiastic remarks. I would like to extend my gratitude towards Advocate Nagaraj Narayan Sir, Director, Kerala Law Academy, Harindran K. Sir, Principal, Kerala Law Academy, Anil Kumar K. Sir, Professor, Kerala Law Academy, faculty conveners, student conveners, organizers who have worked around the clock to make this event a grand success. Last but not the least, I shower my heartfelt gratitude to each and every person for rendering their wholehearted support, which led to the success of this international seminar. It was absolutely a delightful experience for us to interact with such an amazing audience. Now, I would request all of you to kindly rise for the national anthem. Thank you so much. Lastly, I wish each one of you with best wishes for all your future endeavors. On behalf of Kerala Law Academy Law College, this is Alan M. George signing off. Thank you.